Hey, welcome to the Explainer. Today we're doing something a little different. We're going to see if we can build a complete picture of a professional from just a single document. And it's not some huge report, it's just a standard speaker form. So let's find out how much of a story you can really pull from a few lines of text. And that's the big question, right? At first glance, this is just a bunch of data points. But if you think about it, each one is a clue, a piece of a much larger puzzle. And I think if we put them together, we're going to see a surprisingly detailed picture emerge. So, like with any puzzle, where do you start? You start with the corners, the basic facts. Let's lock in the who, what, and where, because that's what's going to frame this whole picture for us. Okay, first things first. The person at the center of all this is Mr. Padmanand V. Now, this next piece is absolutely crucial. His role is partner. You know, in a big firm, partner isn't just a job title. It means you're at the very top. It signifies leadership, deep expertise, and a whole lot of responsibility. And he's a partner at a serious global player, Grant Thornton. We're talking about one of the world's top firms for assurance, tax, and advisory services. So already the picture is getting sharp. This is a senior leader at a major, globally recognized company. But how does someone even become a partner at a firm like Grant Thornton? Well, the answer is almost always built on a really deep foundation of expertise. So let's dig into the qualifications that make a career like this possible. Okay, just look at this foundation. You can see a strong academic background right away. Multiple master philosophy degrees, postgraduate diplomas, but the one that really jumps out is FCCS, Cambridge, UK. That stands for Fellow of the Chartered Governance Institute. It's an incredibly prestigious qualification, and it basically signals elite expertise in corporate governance. This isn't just another degree, it's a mark of international distinction. It tells you this person is committed to the absolute highest global standards in business. That's a fair question, right? All these qualifications look impressive on paper, but where do they actually get applied? How does all that knowledge turn into real-world action? Let's connect the dots from his background to his business. And here's our answer. The form lists his specialty as transformation consulting. This is exactly where that expertise gets put to work. He's not just some passive advisor. He and his team are like guides for companies that are going through huge changes. You know, whether it's a big shift in the market, a brand new technology, or just the need to grow. They help businesses restructure and get better to drive real, tangible growth. So now we know who he is and what he does. But maybe the most important question is, who does he do it for? The next part of our puzzle shows us where all this high-level expertise actually hits the ground. This is the part that answers, why does any of this matter? And this is where the story gets really interesting. His expertise isn't just for huge corporations. It's being applied to farmers, to industry associations, and to MSMEs. That's micro, small, and medium enterprises. I mean, these are the absolute engines of local economies. Think about what that means. We're talking about helping farmers with things like supply chain efficiency or advising small businesses on how to scale up. This is high-level consulting, making a direct, grassroots impact. And it's all happening from his office in Chennai. This brings the whole story full circle. That prestigious Cambridge qualification, that world-class expertise, is being used to strengthen the very backbone of the local business ecosystem. It's this incredible link between global knowledge and on-the-ground economic health. All right, let's just step back for a second and put all these pieces together. We started with what looked like a pretty simple form, and now we have a clear, cohesive, professional portrait starting to take shape. So the story this one document tells us is pretty clear. Mr. Padmanand V is a top partner at a global firm who channels his world-class, internationally recognized expertise directly into the most critical parts of his local economy. It's a perfect case of global knowledge creating real local impact. And you know, if you look really closely at the original form, a lot of the fields are just marked NA, not applicable. But in the end, that didn't matter at all. What this whole exercise shows is that even with missing data, the most important details, the core expertise and the intended impact, are more than enough to tell a really powerful story. And that kind of leaves us with one final thought. If someone were to unpack your professional profile, whether it's on a resume or online, what would be the story? What's the narrative of expertise and impact that it tells? Thanks for joining us for this explainer.